Welcome to America's Commercial Real Estate Show, your source for market intel, forecasts, and strategies. Hello, I'm Michael Bull. Thank you for being with us. This segment is brought to you by CommercialAgentSuccess.com. It is the ultimate training for commercial agents. Do check it out. Well, today my show is really my annual gift show, and in a very short period of time, very efficiently, I'm going to share success strategies in 12 different categories. Now, these are success strategies for companies and for individuals. They're really kind of career and business strategies. Hopefully one of these strategies or more will add value to your life or your business, or maybe you're in leadership and you can share these strategies with some people that you care about. Well, let's get started. Let's get to number one. And number one of my success strategies is integrity. Treat the people that you deal with on a day-to-day basis the way you would want to be treated if you were in their shoes. It really makes it the easy button, doesn't it? When you do that, you know what you're doing the right thing for the people you work with. Give advice based on the best interest of the people that you're giving advice to. How to get out of your own shoes for a moment and think about their best interest. And you will always do the right thing. Give you an example. I had a developer come to me and ask me for our firm to give them a proposal to lease and resell and sell when it was stable a new office building, and told me where the property was and that sort of thing. And I looked at the market. He was also going to two other brokerage shops, and we were the third shop to visit with him. And when we started the meeting, I told him, do not build this building. And he looked at me kind of crazily and said, wait a minute, I just met with two other firms and they gave me the proposal and said what they lease it for, what their rates would be, and blah, 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 what I would sell it for, and the commission and all of that. And you're telling me not to build it? I said, yes, sir. I don't think you should build this building right now in here. And he did not build it. I saw him a couple years later. The man hugged me, okay? He's like, thank you so much for being honest. Now, have I gotten some fees and started down the road with that path? No, you want to give advice that's right for your client or the people that you're trying to help. To give you another example, I had a client that we were leasing a freestanding restaurant for. And the tenant was interested in the property, and he wanted to lease to the tenant. I was very concerned about the tenant, and I thought that the tenant would fail, and I thought the tenant would be a problem for the landlord. Now, the landlord was paying us a cashed out commission, so we would have done the lease, we'd have been paid, and it would have been the landlord's problem. But I was so concerned about it that I told the landlord, don't do it. Landlord argued with me, said, no, let's do it. So this is what I did. I couldn't convince him not to do it. So I said, look, I'm going to send you the lease already prepared. I'm going to send you the tenant to come by your office and sign it. I'm going to release my commission. You don't owe me a dime. If you'll just sign off on a sheet of paper that has one or two sentences that says that I recommend that you do not lease to this tenant, and if you sign this, you do not owe me any commission. He said, fine, thank you. Well, I get a call the next day. He said, Michael, I think I've decided not to rent to that tenant. Okay? And that was a good decision. I mean, a bad tenant is worse than no tenant, that's for sure, right? You don't want to put even a tenant in a place where they're not going to make it as well. So that's the way I had to get that point across. And you see, I'm looking out, if you look out for the people you work with, business will go better, you'll be more successful. All right, let's talk about number two on my success strategies for your business or for you individually, and that is training. You always want to be training. You think about back in the old days, right? We trained and we worked and then we retired. And Bob McCombs with Top Dogs in Commercial Real Estate likes to talk about this, and he said, you know what, those days are gone. We're training all the time, we're probably working all the time, and we're probably playing all the time as well. So you want to keep training. I mean, there's people coming along that are disrupting, that are smarter and faster and everything at what you do. And if you're not continually improving yourself, your value's going down and your value to other people. Think about training and what some of the people do. Think about the star athletes. I got a call from a friend one morning, Michael Jordan, who used to be with the Bulls. You probably know him. Was in town to play the Atlanta Hawks that night and had season tickets. And he said, hey, Michael Jordan's down here working out. It's about 9:30 or 9 o'clock in the morning. You ought to come down here. And I said, well, I'm actually working. I can't come down there and work out near Michael Jordan. But this is what was interesting. Michael Jordan's there. He had a game that night. And he's there in the morning early. And he has a coach that he's hired that's training him. You know, people that are really good at what they do are consistently training. They're getting better all the time. And I think about that, and you will be more successful. To give you an idea what I do, I continually train. I've been doing this show for 9 years. I've taken classes recently on hosting television shows. I've taken classes on public speaking. I've taken classes on sales. I've taken classes on stand-up comedy. Yes, believe it or not. If you like to see me doing stand-up, just go to YouTube and search Michael Bull Comedy. I did a real estate stand-up routine. And learn about your business every day. You know, you can also just learn from what you do every day if you're thinking about it and you're trying. We recently were chosen to take to market an $80 million property. And you know, while we enjoyed the win, we also looked back and said, all right, what can we do better? I think there's not a win and a loss when you're trying to win an assignment or get a project done. I think there's a win and a learn. And make sure that you're always learning. All right, let's go to number 3. Again, I'm going to go over a lot of things very quickly. Hopefully some of these things help you or someone you know. Number 3 is goals. You know, have realistic goals that are written down that you're following. And we think about the first goal being 10 years out. 10 years from now, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? What does it look like? Then think about 5 years. Think about 3 years, 1 year. Think about quarterly, monthly, weekly. And the most important goal I think you should have is daily. What are your daily goals? Because you're kind of take bite sizes of your goal and do the activities each day that really make you successful. So think about those goals. And when you do have those goals, it will help you have a business plan that works and makes it happen, right? If you know you have these set goals and that you see that you're not getting there, then you'll adjust and you'll advance your career by doing the things you need to do to really hit those goals. And it's important that you check them all the time. I had a prospect that wanted to work at my brokerage firm, Bull Realty. It seemed like a sharp young guy, well educated, and he said he wanted to be a commercial real estate broker. Well, as I got down and talked to him, and he said, and I talked about 5 years and 10 years out, he said, really, I want to be a developer. I want to be a developer of commercial real estate. So I said, look, you want to take a direct line to where you want to go. If your goal is to be a developer, then you don't really want to go trying to start a commercial agent career, because that's going to build upon itself each quarter, each year, and it could be 3 to 5 years in before it gets really successful potentially. So you don't want to stop that and start all over with a new business. I suggested you try to work with some really good developers around the country and get involved in working for them and offering to do anything and everything you can for them, because that's a more direct route to his goals. So don't forget thinking about 10 years out. I mean, and I've heard some bad advice, or seen some bad advice that's in some real popular videos online about commercial agents and how they should get started. And you know, it was someone that you would expect to respect their advice, but it was, you know, it was someone asking, hey, I want to sell shopping centers and be an agent selling shopping centers. How should I get started? And he suggested, you know, leasing shop space or managing the centers. And I don't believe in that. I think you make a goal of where you want to go and you go more directly. Now you need to make sure you have the skills, you have the training, you have everything you need to get there, and you're doing it right. But you make a plan and go right where you want to go. Look, I live in Atlanta. If I want to go to New Orleans, I don't go to Nashville first, right? I go straight to Atlanta Airport and to New Orleans. So think about your goals, they will help you. Number 4, accountability, right? Accountability, and that's a tough word for some people. Those are the people who are not going to be as successful. Think about it. Successful people love accountability. They really strive for it. I remember reading about a very successful insurance salesman who was one of the top people in the industry in the country, and he had a private coach he was paying for. And do you think this guy needed to know about selling insurance? No, he's one of the top in the country. He really was paying this coach really he wanted to set goals of what he wanted to do each day, and he wanted someone that he had to answer to, because he really wanted to be number one in his office his company every year. So think about the accountability. My first job I had, I was in school at night. I was managing apartments. It was my very first job. I knew nothing about nothing, and my boss was Lauren Twiner, and Lauren did a great job of helping me get started in the real estate business. And one thing he made me do was have a list each day of the important things I needed to get done. At the end of each day, I had to turn that in, mark through what I got done, and have a new list of the next day. It was holding me accountable. I was learning from an early age that, hey, make priorities, put them in order of priority, and then look each day what you get done, and report to someone. And if you report to yourself, if you're self-employed, then you need to make sure you have an accountability partner, or you have something set up if you want to really improve your success. Let's talk about number 5. Number 5 is motivation. Now, everyone says they're motivated, right? I'm really motivated, Michael, I'm really motivated. But really the proof's in the pudding, right? You really, once you see them working, you find out really what their motivation level is. And look, I get it. We all have varied motivation levels really each day, right? Things can change our motivation day to day and year to year. So think about what motivates you and find it and go for it and try to motivate yourself more if you want to be more successful. What is it that makes you motivated? Is it being number one in your office or number one in your city? I remember as a young agent, that was extremely important to me and was a very good motivation for me. I thought, look, there was 60 brokers in my shop, and I just wanted to be number one every time and every year, and it really motivated me and helped me learn all the other things and do all the things to get where I could be successful. It's a good goal. But what is your goal? Is it to be admired? Is it to be have more wealth? Is it to provide better for your family or your children? Is it to have that big boat you'd like to have, or that big fancy home? You know, think about, is it to earn extra money, to invest in real estate on your own account? Think about what motivates you and keep those motivations in front of you and keep them so that you're motivated each day. A lot of people use affirmations, like daily affirmations that kind of motivate them each day. Maybe some people use prayer, some people use groups, some people use, various things to keep them motivated. We really want to find out what motivates you. All right, let's go to number 6 in my list of 12 strategies for success for a business or for an individual. Number 6 is mission or mission statement. I think you want to have a mission statement that if you're a leader or in your team, you want to make sure that the mission statement is around a lot, that people really get it. What I find is that leaders need to re-energize and restate their mission a lot more than you think. Do a test, go to your folks and ask them what the mission statement is. Because you've probably designed a mission statement that's real important to your clients and to your business, and maybe they don't remember it. So repeat it a lot more often than you should. I'll give you a couple mission statement examples. So I was a young agent. I was 22 years old. I started to be a commission-only salesperson. And I had a mission statement that everyone who owned a multifamily property in the entire in-town Atlanta market were going to, 1, know who I was. Number 2, know that I'm good at what I do. And number 3, there's nothing they could do about it. I was going to make sure that happened. That was my mission, and that drove me every day. Now, I can't make people work with me, but I can make those other three things happen. And what that does is directs your business every day. So think about your business, what you do, who your clients and your customers are, and think about a mission statement that can really drive what you do each day. It was very clear to me to do what I needed to do each day. And with that mission statement, I was able at a young age to have the largest market share of multifamily in town Atlanta work than any company anywhere. And it was that mission statement, I think, that drove me a lot and helped me do the right things. Let's think about another mission statement example. The Bull Realty itself, the brokerage firm I own, I started 22 years ago. Our mission statement when we started, this still drives us today, was one, to have a company of brokers known for integrity. Number two, to be known for the best disposition marketing in the country. And you think about that, that's why we started it, and that's what drives us. Now we have 38 brokers, 12 staff people. We're licensed in 9 Southeast states. We're selling properties from $400 million to $80 million to down to $800,000 right here in Atlanta. And we have groups that specialize in every property type. Now we also do leasing and advisory services, so we don't just sell properties now today, but that still drives us each day. So think about your mission and how that can help you and your people do what they need to do each day. In my personal mission, I mentioned I was sold multifamily, and our company still does that in a pretty big way in the Southeast. But my personal mission is I lead a team that sells large office buildings. So I have that same mission now. I meet with office owners around the country that own large office buildings. We meet with them almost daily and talk to them and understand, their missions and their properties. And so those kinds of goals can really drive you. And even if you don't get a signature or you don't have a success each day or each week, if you've really propelled your mission more each day, you're going to feel really good about what you did that day. All right, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back with 6 more success strategies for you. Stay with us. I'm Michael Bull. This is America's Commercial Real Estate Show. America's Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bull Realty. For customized asset and occupancy solutions, visit bullrealty.com. Commercial Agent Success Strategies. Incredible training for commercial agents. Visit commercialagentsuccess.com.